Brings us to the back. We walk through a series of fucking naked bodies of hookers and insanity. Get to the back, and there at the back of the room, I see the single most disgusting thing ever going on.
Dylan, Ruby.
Her name's Ginger, bro.
Ginger.
We got a new dog. She's right there. Andre, can you just pan down to the lion? She's so fluffy. We named her Ginger. It's final. Ginger the Giant on Instagram. I don't know how we secured that handle. Anyways, welcome back to Impaulsive, the #1 podcast in the world. Thank you guys for listening, watching, viewing, subscribing. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button for me. Oh, is she back here?
Whoa.
Oh, she is.
Yo, Mike, you're famous now? What happened last night?
Oh, something did happen. Your dick's a little bigger today.
I appeared on an episode of TMZ last night.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you.
What'd they ask you?
No big deal. They asked me,
like the camera's flashing in your face and
I
stuff?
walk out of catch, had a nice meal with two lovely ladies. I walk out, and there's one camera guy walks up first, then the lights go on, and I hear, "Welcome back to the #1 podcast," and then I'm like,
amazing.
Wow,
They
bro.
knew.
They knew.
That's awesome.
And they started asking me
Incredible.
really weird questions. Do they do that to you?
TMZ tries to get like clips on like what celebrities think of certain subjects.
They are asking me about road rage,
Yeah.
Donald Trump, or some other things. Jake Paul's house party with designer.
Did you do the classic, like, I don't want you to be asking me questions?
No,
You just went with it?
cameras.
What happened was the girls hadn't come out with me, and so I was talking, and the whole time I was like, yo, I hope the girls walk out and like kind of come up to my side while I'm fucking talking to them.
They
And
didn't
like
do that?
3/4 of the way through, they did it. They come out, and it was all going so swimmingly, and then I realized I ordered a Kia as my Uber. And so I got in the backseat of a fucking Kia, bro. And they were like, yeah, see you later, you fucking loser.
You gotta love
Did you get
that.
nervous?
I was a
When
little...
when I hear the camera clicks and the
Yeah.
flash, sometimes I'm like, oh
That
no.
guy, the clicking guy wasn't there. It was just two videos,
Oh, okay,
and so
okay.
that made it a little better. But luckily I hadn't drank a lot of dinner, so I was pretty chill.
You didn't drink a lot of dinner?
Yeah,
That's-
because I've been
that's
doing
right.
liquid.
You've been
dinners.
chewing your food and putting it in the cup?
Yeah,
That's awesome. I went out last night too. I had dinner with my mother, my sweet mother,
Oh,
and my brother,
nice.
my brother Jake.
Beautiful.
I love that.
And then we were going to a party, which is where I met up with you.
Yeah.
And my mom, like, kind of casually, a little shy. She's like, "Logan, do you mind if I come to the party with you?" And I'm like, "No, I don't mind at all. You're my sweet mother, and I love you." And she goes, "Well, I don't want to ruin the vibe." And in my head, I'm like, "Bitch, you are the vibe. Bitch, you are the vibe, bro."
Nothing can
Welcome to
stop that.
LA, where no dudes are bringing their moms to parties, but when
That's
you
rare.
do, it's awesome, bro. Everyone in LA loves a mother because all
true.
our mothers are back in Kansas or Ohio or Michigan.
Yeah, everybody comes out here to whore out.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta have the mother around to remind you that you're not truly a whore.
Mom, you got me laid. You got me laid.
She actually did.
No,
Really?
You did. You really did, Mom.
You know what I'm gonna say by who too? Can you believe?
Pam, are you proud of that, or are you kind of concerned?
Why?
Oh, she's concerned.
You're my wingman. Yo, I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. By the way, here's my sweet dear mother. And they're like, oh my God, where are you from?
By the way, isn't it
Oh my God.
isn't it funny when you were younger? Bringing your mom around would actually stop you from getting laid.
Yes.
Now in LA, if you bring your mom out with you, girls are like, "Oh my God, you're so
Yes.
cute!"
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
not like these other fuckboys. When in reality,
It's it's the ticket.
King
It's the
of the
key.
fuckboys
Yeah,
right
take
here,
notes. Took the dog to the vet, took Ginger to the vet today. They try to do the classic, let me stick my fingers up your dog's butt, yo. I
Yeah.
won't let this happen ever.
Classic.
Ever.
you wouldn't let him do a rectal exam.
Nah.
No, he didn't. He had PTSD.
Oh,
I was fighting with the vet.
Post traumatic.
He's like, I could just stick my fingers up the
Sticking your finger in my ass disorder. Is that-
Well, he had his anus penetrated at a younger age.
Yeah, it was, bro. The dog stuck his fingers up my butt.
Wait, a dog stuck his
No,
fingers
a
up your
doc,
butt?
a doc, bro.
Oh, I was like, what kind of
I-
bestiality ass shit? What's good?
No, I was I think you guys have heard this story before. I'd hit my head on a trampoline, 7mm skull fracture, and I went to the doctor, got life flighted, and
You got to check the ass.
well, like apparently
It
but
makes
also,
sense.
Like let's not tell the 12-year-old who's, by the way, in a fucking neck brace, laying face down, that I'm
Helpless.
gonna go.
Totally helpless.
Did he? Wait,
That's not even an. I swear, that's what he
Wait,
did.
Pam,
and I'm
what-
just like, ah!
Is that a standard operating procedure when someone has a head injury to have a finger up the ass? Is that a normal?
In the ER, yes, they have to check all orifices.
They have to check all orifices.
They have an orifice checklist.
Funny, because he never mentioned them sticking their fingers in his ear, his nose, looking at it in his mouth. It was this doctor was just obsessed with his butthole. What's good?
I really hate to see it.
I really would wish he would have given me a wet willy, but no, it's just a wet
sphincter.
ass.
Yeah.
A wet
Assy.
Hey, what a weird transition to bring in the greatest
Maybe
guest of
not.
all time.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. I can't believe what's happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. We fucking got him.
Secured the bag.
He's
Who got this guest, by the way?
Colin, was this you? Did you secure the bag on this one? Hey,
Shit,
shout out
dude.
Colin.
Thank you, bro.
We love you, Colin. Guys, we got a legendary guest on the show today. He was at one time Wall Street's most successful executive. He made hundreds of millions of dollars. His actions, though, led him to jail. Then a life of redemption. Hey, Leonardo DiCaprio played him in the movie. It's the real Wolf of Wall Street. It's Jordan Belfort.
Oh, I got the chest bump. All right.
What's up?
All right, how are you, buddy? All right.
Yo, good to see you.
So I'm walking in about his fingers up the butt here, huh? There's nothing wrong with that when you're a little older, you know?
No, I know.
I look forward to it, but anyway.
You can't tell me you haven't had fingers up your butt.
Well, many fingers. So,
Or
I mean, I didn't know about the whole orifice thing. I mean, check to the emergency room later if say I have a trauma, I'm a little horny today.
It's like, yo, doc, I think I'm hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Please.
What's the injury?
Sir, you're fine.
You learn a new thing every
look
day. That's why
fine.
it's good to have moms around, But, hey.
Nah, my mom's cool, yo.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see you.
You too, pal.
How you doing? You got 10 people with you.
I know. I got a whole crew. It's
Who
amazing.
are all these
I
people?
got my son here, who was my partner in my business. Who's awesome.
Oh, your son?
Which one's that?
Oh,
that's good.
yeah. Without having to turn a computer on, you guys are like, I grew up after the computer age, right? So he runs all my social media. Got some film crew here. I got.
Yeah, but you have two videographers, and one of them's on a three, and one of them's on a steady cam.
One just showed up out of the blue. So
This is incredible.
I have a feeling some of them are here because of you, buddy. So they want to check out the whole Logan Paul experience.
I'm a pussy, bro.
Right.
It's like,
Bam, he's doing it again with the self-deprecation.
Yeah.
hey, so you're a legend, dude.
Oh, thank
The
you.
real Wolf of Wall Street.
That I am.
You did a lot of drugs, huh?
Massive quantities. I mean, like on a daily basis. I was a very responsible addict though. I mean, I was like a human petri dish. I'd mix them like perfectly. And the thing was, I didn't drink a lot of alcohol, so you can sort of like balance everything out. It started off with like one drug, right?
Yeah.
Like doing it once on a Thursday night, so I could have 3 days to recover, take Friday off, right? Then I started doing it on Saturday night, and Sunday morning maybe, and sleep it off for Monday, right? But then I started getting tired from the lewds. They make you it's a downer.
Yeah.
So I felt responsible with some coke to wake up, right?
Wait, what'd you say? The lewds?
The lewds make you sleepy.
For the kids, why don't you tell
Yeah.
these kids what the lewds are?
Yeah, Quaaludes.
So Quaaludes are basically it's a barbiturate, sleeping pill, right? And what happened was when they were first invented, psychiatrists gave them to like housewives because it made you sleep and didn't give you a big hangover, right? Well, it didn't take long for people to figure out if you fought off the first 20 minutes of sleep, you got the most kick-ass fucking high in the world, right?
Wait, you're like quoting the movie,
Really?
and I'm hearing the real Jordan
There you go.
Belfort
It's
say
amazing.
this.
But it became the most abused drug ever. So I think for every legitimate prescription written, it was probably 100,000 that were just bogus, right?
Now this is in the 80s,
This
right?
is in the 70s.
So late 70s?
Late 70s,
Okay.
80s. And
Yeah.
we had these guys called lewd doctors. So you'd go to the docs, they would supposedly weight loss doctors. So they give you speed, black beauties to lose weight. And they say, oh, I can't sleep with that. They give you the lewds to fall asleep. That was the scam, right? So you have all these kids lining up around the block. They get a prescription and you go crack it at the pharmacy and there you go.
You're not the only person on this set who has experimented with substances, but I want you to take a guess as to who the other person is that had a little bit of a run themselves. Like, look around you. Who looks suspicious here?
Dude, I assume all of you have. I mean,
Well,
Even the vegan?
Fair enough. He's
Look
vegan.
at his skin. It's glowing. He's radiating positivity.
Which is, I would say
It's him, dude.
But you weren't supposed to tell
Well,
us.
it's over, bro. The segment's taking too long.
All right,
all right?
fine.
I was gonna say you because it was kind of a setup. But what was your drug of choice?
Everything, dude. Opiates, OxyContin. So, like, OxyContin for our generation
done
was
that,
like
yeah.
your lewds.
Yeah.
Overpowered the streets. But
Wait,
you
so-
said in the movie, Leo said, "I will not die sober." Are you gonna die sober?
Good question. I don't think much about dying just yet, but hopefully I won't, though. I mean, I want to die very nicely in my sleep, maybe many years from now, but hopefully I won't be stone cold sober. Yeah.
Would you become a robot if that meant you could live for like 200,
No,
400
no
years?
fucking way.
No, you wouldn't?
Oh God, no. I mean, like honestly,
You ready to get out?
Not yet, but I mean, like, I wouldn't want to live forever.
What if I told you right now that if you switched your diet up a little bit, stopped eating meat, never drank again for the rest of your life, and really started drinking perfectly pH balanced water, you could add roughly 2 to 4 years onto the end of your life? Would you do it?
No fucking way. Because I think it's bullshit. I think there's so many things involved in I think a lot is genetics. Who lives the longest? My family, my parents are both alive. They're in their late 80s. My grandparents lived into their 90s. So I think it's mostly genetics. But listen, there's things you can do. You can live a certain way and have a shit life. I live and I enjoy every day. You know what I'm saying? I don't worry about everything, every corner I turn around, what I put in my mouth. I don't abuse myself anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm not like,
you sober now?
pretty much. I'll drink a little bit here and there, but I'm not drugs were my thing. I never really drank that much alcohol, so I'm pretty safe with a glass of scotch once in a while, right? But no ludes, no coke, And I was doing like mountains of coke, ski jumps off the fucking coke.
That's great. Off strippers' asses.
Oh, just at the least, you know what I'm saying? Damn. Well, if everyone's ass, huh? I was doing it all the time. Doctors' asses.
You got an ass.
Non-stop.
Do cocaine.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But, listen, when you're young, listen, the things that make sense when you're 25, 26, they don't make as much sense when you're 55 and 56, right? For real, yeah. So, I wouldn't take all that stuff back with your drugs. I had a great time. I overdid it. And I look at drugs, seriously, it's like a privilege. Some people can do it and they can live a normal life. Once you cross over a certain point, it'll fuck you up and you're done. You just can't do them anymore, right? But I have friends that still do and they totally live normal lives. So I don't sneer down on people.
But what's the point? What's the point that when you cross, it's unhealthy?
Yeah, we used to have a saying in Stratton, if you go out with the boys, you got to wake up with the men.
Oh shit!
Right. So when you can no longer do that, that's when you've crossed over. Or like when you're out, your daughter's birthday party, and you're upstairs just with a crack pipe instead of downstairs. Then you kind of crossed over as well. It's a couple of leading indicators.
You're supposed to be down.
Or like when you're in a strip club, like marrying a stripper, call my mother, hey mom, I'm marrying Blaze the stripper.
You crossed over.
Maybe. But listen, there's a lot of points where you think, listen, I did all this the scene with the Quaaludes where I crashed all those cars, right? Yep. Didn't remember. True story.
That happened.
True story. 100% true. 100% true. And
did you think the car was?
To this day, give me a fucking lie detector test. I could pass a lie detector test right now. I don't remember hitting one car.
I'm sure.
Like when I stole I was like, what the fuck? Who stole my fucking car? Yeah? And then the magic, the magic of Quaaludes though, is that it's not like alcohol. So they arrest me, right? I'm like, I'm sleeping half the time. I'm like half asleep. I'm in a jail cell, like Mayberry RFD. It's like a local jail cell. You're probably too young for that, maybe. Your mom knows what I'm talking about, right? It's like this old TV show with like a little county jail, right? Yeah. There's me and two cops,
with the big key that goes in the lock and shit.
So I'm on the floor sleeping, drooling on the concrete, basically, right? And it's like 11 o'clock at night, right? All of a sudden, I'm sober. Like when ludes wear off, it's not like you have a hangover.
Yeah, right,
so I'm like, where am I? They're like, I see what you took wore off. So I ended up in this jail, and then I actually got out of that hole. I didn't get in trouble for that, believe it or not.
You know what's like that nowadays? Xanax. You wake up the next day with absolutely no recollection
how did you not
what
get
has
in trouble
happened the night before.
How did you get out of that?
I'll tell you how I got out of it. So what happened is so the movie's accurate. Is exactly what happened. We had these real ludes, right? They had a delayed fuse because they were really old. So I took one, didn't hit me. So I took another one. Yeah. So they finally all hit me when I was out on a call because my phones were tapped, right? At the time, right? And all of a sudden, boom, I fall over. I can barely walk. So I'm crawling back. The whole thing happened just like that, right? I drive home. I don't think I have an accident. I get in my house, right? I'm at the table with my wife, right? My little daughter's like 2 back then, so I'm drooling. She's drooling. Like, both drooling and slurring. Everything's cool, right? And all of a sudden, I had bodyguards there full time. Next thing you know, they have one under each of them. They lift me up. They take me upstairs to my bedroom. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? It's like a lewd high gone bad, basically, right? So they put me, Mr. Bubble, calm down. They put me under the covers, put things, shut the light off, done. So now I'm under the covers, I'm stoned out of my mind. So fuck it, I'll just drift off to sleep. A couple minutes later, the lights come on. I sense put 2 policemen in my room. I'm like, what the fuck are you, They're like, Mr. Belfort, were you driving your car? I'm like, oh shit. Something said clam up. I'm like, oh, no. Next thing I'm under arrest, right? Then I see the car. I'm like, what? I was so blown away I fainted because I didn't remember having an accident,
That's
right?
Crazy.
So when I was in the jail cell, this little tiny jail, right? The guys are, fucking around me saying, oh, you're going to go to Central Lockup tonight. It's too late because you're going to go to the place called the Tombs in Long Island. Really bad place to be, right? Because I thought I'd, get bailed out right there. But it's 11 o'clock. No courts are open, right?
Yeah.
Then they go, you got to take a urine test. I said, I'm not fucking taking a urine test. I'm going to call my like 25 drugs in my system, right? Everything but basically LSD, right? So I call my lawyer and they want me to take a urine test. He goes, take it. I'm like, really? Let's just take it. Don't worry about it. All right. So I take the urine test. They start like, oh, look, well, everything but fucking acid, right? You know, the cop's like, yo, you're going, blah, 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 right? About 40 minutes later, some old man comes in the jail, right? Like in pajamas. He goes, oh, is Jordan Belfort here? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you're bailed. I'm Judge Stevens. He got some corrupt judge out of bed to get me, to bail me out. Yeah.
Incredible.
Got out of jail, right? So then my lawyer's waiting for me outside. My lawyer's waiting for me outside, right? I said, Joe, I'm in deep shit. I said, you know, I tested positive for everything. He's like, no, you're fine. Listen, it's not illegal to have drugs in your system. How can they prove you didn't take them after you got home? They didn't catch you in the car. Because they didn't catch me in the car, it didn't matter what was in my system.
That's right.
I theoretically could have went home, took them all then.
Wow.
So they had no evidence. So it was all thrown out.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, you know, I had to pay some. I hit 7 calls. I had to pay some money. I mean, like, you know, but you know,
How did you find like bomb lawyers? Like, how did you
they
get?
find you, pal. Don't worry about it.
Really? Okay, all right, that's
hopefully,
good.
hopefully they don't be calling you like they called me.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
can be all right,
Just hit me
They
up.
seek you out.
Hit me up.
You know?
I got some stuff going
Spencer does bad things, yo. He does bad things.
Define bed. Define bed.
Like he overeats
he's
plants.
a fucking like a
He's
fucking
cleaning
vegan,
out the
right?
whole
on. I eat
vegetative
a lot of plants.
supply.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes he stays out too
You know,
late.
about the
Little past 10.
Not global warming anymore. So now climate change.
Climate
Fucking-
change,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
He's responsible for it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
One
Taking
so
out all
many
the plants.
plants.
What was
You
your
and
favorite?
AOC. Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the movie?
Favorite? Wow. I think probably for me, the scenes in the boardroom, like with the speeches, that was like brought back the insanity of it all. Like, I mean, the whole thing was so great. I mean, it was wild. So those were the best scenes. Some of the scenes also at home, you know, the fighting with my wife was pretty classic too. But I have to say the boardroom scenes were best.
Gotcha. Dude, that movie is fucking. We quote it every day. We quote it literally
It's
every
a
day.
good movie.
It is probably the most quotable movie of all
Yeah.
time. Like, imagine that.
Was there any?
It's like that and then Step Brothers.
I'm sure there were. I'm sure there were moments that I like your laugh.
It's amazing.
No, like that and Step Brothers.
They're neck and neck,
Yeah.
dude.
I gotta watch Step Brothers again.
Incredible.
It's amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's
Incredible.
amazing.
Really?
That's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Now, wait, that's what's his name?
Will Ferrell and Riley.
Yeah, guy, yeah.
John C. Riley.
Yeah. What are some moments that happened that didn't make it to the movie that should? I mean,
Boy, oh
there's
boy,
probably
oh
a
boy.
lot.
It's a great question.
Well, you know, I can't tell the story.
Oh shit! His son's telling him to tell the story. You got a story?
Well,
He's got the worst story I've
ever.
heard in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. You're on the number one
I don't know
podcast
if you guys
in the
are.
world.
How old are you guys now?
I'm fucking-
Maybe I'd be over 30. I think.
I am 34.
We got one.
34.
So I'll tell you the sort of abridged. You tell me how raunchy you want this to
I
go.
want it.
we want it.
full fucking.
Let me give you a quick
FTC violations here. I think.
Let me give you a
No.
quick preface, Jordan.
Yeah.
That mic was once down Riley Reid's throat. We had a porn star talking about blowing her Uber driver.
Right, but-
we have talked about prepping for
This is way
anal on
worse.
this
This
show.
is-
Jordan.
Riley
You're quoting
Reid,
one
we had
episode.
we had porn stars at this event, by the way, and they froze in horror. Just so you know,
Wow.
the porn stars. They said I had a girl
Hey, buckle
hooker
up, yo.
for a blue chip hooker for 8 years. Right, we used to classify hookers like stocks. So the best ones were blue chips. Right, then we had the Nasdaqs and the pink. The blue chip goes. I'm doing this for 10 years. I've never seen anything as disgusting as that.
All right,
All
I'm
right,
ready.
go ahead. Roll it out.
I'm ready
Roll
for
it
this
out.
shit.
So, story goes, right? So, getting married, big deal, right? Rent a private jet, fly 100 Strat nights out there, right? And actually, some came to We took a bunch of hookers with us, right? Like probably 40, 50 from New York. But then we got others from around California, from Vegas, right? We had New York police officers, right? So it was like 100 Strat nights, 100 hookers, right? Another 50, 100 got recruited in Vegas. And we had them all shapes and sizes, from the bluest of the blue chips to the most disgusting pink sheet streetwalkers, like
OTC,
the
the
face,
OTC
face
girls.
of a sheepdog, shoulders of an alpha linebacker, right? You know, just the most rancid shit you've seen, right? You know, but we're equal opportunity employers, right? We don't want to be prejudiced, right? You know, want to be a nice guy, right? Anyway, so now the Bachelor was at the Mirage Hotel back then, which was all the rage. That was it. The Mirage was the greatest place ever, right? So we had the whole back part of this one floor of the Mirage, right? So my friend and I, I'm going to leave his name out because I'll just said that I'll give him that much respect here, right? So he was a huge gambler and a really major league CEO of a huge company in the garment center. This guy, right? Total wild man, right? But he was like out of his mind. I mean, this guy would do so much coke, but he was like almost like David Copperfield doing coke. Like he'd carry around like a little billet of coke, right? And with a collar stay, right? And he could do it. He'd be 5 DEA agents around. He'd be like this. He's like, did he fucking just
He's like a magician. A magician.
He's a fucking magic. Like,
Yeah,
wow. What did he just do? It's like sleight of hand. That's how good this guy was, right?
Damn.
He totally like corrupted me. And I'm very easily corruptible, by the way. Right? I'd say
I couldn't tell.
I'm like the parents, no, people my parents warned me about, right? But anyway, so he was just a complete fucking wild man, right? So we're downstairs. He was a massive gambler. We're playing blackjacks. He's playing 5 hands at once. I'm playing 2 hands, $10,000 a hand. So he's up like $2 million, up like $750,000. We're fucking high as kites. I'm like probably on 15 lewds at this point for the day. At least 7-8 grams of blow, and just going on. It's like, nah, this is complete insanity. Xanax, Klonopin, because it sounds good, morphine. I had everything in my system once, but it was all perfectly balanced. So I was like, you saw me, I was like, wow, the guy seems like he's sober.
How
It's
is
like
that
perfect
possible?
He had the setup
that was
perfect.
balanced. That was balanced, right? Anyway,
yeah.
so finally, it's like,
Did you just say that? Like, where is the balance?
I referred to it as a perfect state of toxic poise, right?
Quickly, what he means is it wasn't in either direction too much.
Yeah.
He was balanced.
too far down,
Got it,
like
got
not
it.
too much
Stimulants,
anxiety, but I'm not a
exactly.
rubber band. Like,
Got it.
That was perfectly balanced, right?
Exactly.
I'm
At some point, you
And
get
I'm gonna
so
stay a
fucked.
rookie.
At some point, you get so
Go
fucked
eat
up
some
that
plants, right? Anyway, the magic mushrooms, right? So anyway, so here's what we got. So anyway, so we're downstairs, right? We're gambling like man. I'm up like 700 grand. He's up 2 million, right? And after a couple hours, like, let's go upstairs to the bachelor party, right? So I grab I cash out like $1.2 million in a bag, right? I had my $500,000 plus the 701, right? He leaves his chips there on the table. The guy, and he just leaves it there because that's what's like when you're a huge gambler. So we go upstairs, and as we get to the floor, 20, I think it was 23rd floor maybe, and we turn the corner. It's like the fucking Matrix. It's like it was like the dark energy emanating. You almost like the room was pulsating. The whole really weird energy, right? 2 cops guarding the bachelor doors. We walk towards the doors. The cops say, "Mr. B, you do not want to go in there. You really do." I said, "We must go in there. We must. It's beyond our control." So we open up the door, and there is the bachelor party. And it's like it's like Sodom and Gomorrah on the 23rd floor of Mirage. It's completely out of fucking control. Now, just so you know, I wrote about this in my book, the first book, right? And I described that exact scene, which came on the heels of all the other insanity I was doing, right? And the interesting thing was I already had about 150 pages in the book, and I was talking about crazy shit. I mean, candles up my ass, like up the ass, no big deal, right? All this crazy shit, midget tossing, that, all this. And this was a female editor, Danielle Perez from Rams, and she was awesome. She's like, "Oh my God, this is great." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "This is awesome. People are gonna love it." She's like, "Oh my God, everything. Oh, great, great, great." I'm like, "Wow." I'm like, "So I'm just gonna go for it." So when I got to this part with the bachelor party, I'm like, "I'll just fucking go for it," right? So I then write out like 12 pages describing every seedy, disgusting detail down to its most minute elegance, right? Where it's like, I mean, like literally you can see the cum dripping off people. Is that how much right? Anyway, and I send the pages to Random House, and I get back a comment. "I don't think other human beings will understand." And so I know a few will understand.
Oh my God.
These guys, you're talking to the two people that book was meant for.
Let's see.
Can we get the unredacted version?
Anyway.
If they find this disgusting, you got a serious problem.
you will.
You got a real problem on your
No,
hands.
this is so anyway. This is
ready.
like a space-time continuum tear. It like teared space-time.
The fabric of time and space.
It did. Like there was music, it just stopped. There was like people froze. It was like, like fucking X-Men shit. Like it was like frozen in place, right? So anyway, so I met this guy and I, we walk in together, right? And there it is. The first thing we see is the bathroom door opens. A little hooker, blue chip, walks like 19, 20 years old. She's limping out, crying, and this guy follows her out. This guy, his nickname was the biggest dick on Wall. She had a 12-inch cock the size of a Campbell soup can, right? She's crying. So everyone gives her $500 for it. She's like, "Thank you." And she limps away, right? Okay, he's like, "I had to do it. It must happen," right? Then it's like a dog poised on all fours with fucking getting blowjob, nitrous oxide.
Sorry. Can you say what you just said one more time?
Dude,
just the way you said it.
Dude, this is just, by the way, this is nothing. That's Rookiesville here, okay? Anyway, there's cocaine out on plates, dishes of Quaaludes. Everyone's fucking out in the open. Like, it's just complete fucking mayhem. Like an orgy out in the open, right? Like, nitrous oxide. Everyone's fucking doing whippets on a fucking tank. It's just complete fucking insanity. And behind us is the glass, view of Vegas. Just a scene like you couldn't imagine, right? Like out of the movies, right? So anyway, and by the way, here's the sick part. I didn't think it was weird at the time. Like,
You just walked in. You were like, normal night in
day at
Vegas.
work, right?
Yeah, normal night in Vegas.
Right? So then this guy Wigwam was his nickname, right? called him in the movie. He was rug wrapping, as we called him Wigwam, because he had the worst toupee this side of the Iron Curtain, right? It's like a fucking dead squirrel on his head. So Wigwam was fucking coked out of his mind, right? He's like, he comes and goes, I'm like, what? Ellie, my friend understood Lude's, I should say name, understood Lude speak, right? He goes, he said, check this out. He's like, he brings us to the back. We walk through a series of fucking naked bodies of hookers and insanity. Get to the back, and there at the back of the room, I see the single most disgusting thing ever going on. It's a total like this. It's like, by the way, thank God this was the before Me Too generation, right? I don't condone this, all you Me Too, but I swear to God.
Thank you for that. The review team will love that.
Yeah,
that'll take care of everything you just said.
Anyway, okay. So, okay, make a long story short, or make a short story long, right? There's a girl on a stool, a pink sheet hooker, truly with the face of a sheepdog, missing teeth, whole fucking thing. And there's like 20, it's just really bad. There's like 20 guys lined up, to bang her, and they're all banging her without condoms. All right? So they're lined up, one guy's banging her, and of course you have to look to see, like, why not, right? So you're like, oh, what the hell's that? And we look, and you're like, this guy pulls out, it's like and it's like the grossest, most disgusting pussy in the world. Like, it's like, this is like the ultimate vile pussy. Right? Like 15 people in there, and they're still going on, right? Anyway, boy, my wife's gonna be mad if you tell them the story. I know I'm in deep shit right now.
She's not here, right?
How could you do this? No, she doesn't care for me, no. Anyway, here go my corporate sponsors, right? So, all right.
Yeah, we don't have too many
I'm
of them
going to
to
start
lose
my own
here.
podcast. I'm not telling these stories, right? This is for my young generation, right? Don't do this at home, kids. It's not good.
Don't do it anywhere, probably.
Right? Okay, anyway.
Never.
Yeah.
Anyway, so,
Except Vegas.
no. It's pretty bad. So,
He's saying it's gonna get worse.
oh, yeah. Anyway, so my friend is sitting next to me, and it's like this just disgusting scene. The music is playing, blasting.
What
Everyone's
music, by the
dead.
way, just so I can
Sly and
imagine?
the Family Stone, Everyday People's fucking blasting in the
Everyday
background. Right,
People.
fucking girls are dancing this way and that way, boobs are fucking out swinging. My friend takes a look, and it's just like this just disgusting, rancid, pussy out, and it's like dripping with stuff, and the girl's like with a cowboy hat on. She's saying, yeah, she was getting money thrown at her, right? And he reaches over to like, sees a Dom Perignon bottle. He goes, all right? Waits, and he goes, go, and drinks it out in front of 150 people. He bent down and drunk it out. At that point in time, okay, literally everything in the room stopped. It was like someone pressed a pause button, all right? And it seriously like tore the fabric of space. And then after he did a gargle and a formal bow, and everyone clapped and cheered, right? And just so you know, and this is a message to everyone real seriously. Like, obviously this is 30 something years ago, right? But you don't get there. You get there like one little step at a time.
Yes.
Like, we didn't think it was that, it was nutty, but it was like, here's what happened. We were in this situation where everyone was young, everyone was making massive money. It was about how low can you go? What was the next low? Because like, if something happened, right, then okay, well, fair enough. What can you do worse? Like, what can you do? It's more extreme. After a while, you're basically running out of things to do, so you're inventing insanity. So it was like these insane acts because you had to outdo the one before. So
It's almost like you start edging on this like pagan, ritualistic, like
it's like Rome. It's like honestly more.
Yes.
More. It's like, okay. So it's more like when you're running an organization that large, it becomes its own self-contained society. It does. There's births, deaths, marriages, affairs, there's love, there's hate, there's every emotion, every relationship going on within this organization, right? Thousands of young kids all making millions of bucks, right? So, hello,
Mom.
Who called?
Mom, who was it?
All making a ton of money, right? So, what happens is it's like almost like it was like Rome, and this was like the Colosseum. The mob needed to be entertained. The mob needed a spectacle, right? And my partner Danny was Donnie in the movie. He was like the Knights. He was head of the Knights Templar. They go around and like search for acts of depravity to just bring into the. It was really just really nuts. So that was really how it started, and it sort of did. By the way, that was not the end. That was very early on. Things got much worse after that. Whoa. That was just a point. So I saw that, and I was so revolted. I really was, right. And I left. I said, I got to go. And I left the party, right?
it's too much for you.
It was too much. It was disgusting. Right? The whole thing was disgusting, right? All right. And I went downstairs, and I took 5 Xanax, or maybe 10 Xanax probably back then, and passed out. Wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, And my friend who had done that, right? He's shaking my shoulders. He's like, we got to get out. It's too depraved. I'm like, you're telling me it's too fucking depraved. We got to go. This place is evil, right? So all right, when I take a shot, I go to the safe to get my $1.2 million. Fucking safe's empty. I'm like, where's my? He goes, I took a bit of I lost $3 million that night, and then lost like 30 million more over the. So it got really bad. So listen, you can look at this stuff and laugh, right? But I say this when you look at my life, there's things you want to model, right? There's a lot of good stuff I did, right? But this falls into a very different category of drug-induced insanity. Listen, I'm not the first guy to have a wild bachelor party, right? It's just that it was sort of like everything had to be over extreme. Like, to feel, what happens, you become desensitized against normal emotion. Right?
Of course. As soon as you start down that road.
So the only, when I give speeches now, I teach sales, I do corporate stuff, right? I always say the only way to avoid is not to take the first step. Because if you take the first, it's like you cannot be half pregnant when it comes to ethics, and you just can't be.
Unless, like you said earlier, you're one of the privileged. We're not, I wasn't privileged either. I wasn't one of the people that could say, hey, I'm going to do some depraved shit tonight, but tomorrow I'm going to turn that shit off. Well, once I started sliding down that slope, it was over, dude.
There's different, obviously, people in the crowd. They all, some are leaders, some are followers. And on another level, it's like what happens when you see like a Brazilian soccer match. 100,000 people, everything's fine, they're nice people. One too many drops of alcohol, the wrong team loses, and fucking next year they're tearing down the lamppost. And everyone individually is okay, but they're gang mentality, and a mob mentality. It's insane. So that was probably one of the grossest things I'd ever seen. And in the book, in the book, it just says I go up to the door, I look in the bachelor party, and I was so grossed out, I left.
That's what you
got.
I
never said what actually happened. That's what happened. It was really good.
By the way, I'm not too bad with the Dom P if you were the first guy. What grossed me out was he was 20 dudes later.
No, dude, he drank after 20 guys.
That's horrifying.
And by the way,
did he he had to have gotten that checked out, huh? And was he cleared?
Kidding me?
No, dude, I'm pretty sure they remember when I talked about Pokemon.
Nobody
gave a fuck at that point, bro.
I would honestly, I never. That wasn't our thing.
They reversed back to clean, bro. They called.
I think I was so. I did so many things back then. Like I think the germs were scared to land on me. I was not a hospitable environment. They need a willing host. The bacteria. So I never used any protection.
The parasite.
Exactly.
You were given the STDs.
I never caught anything. They just fuck that. It's like the movie. What's that? World War Z with the zombies. They don't fucking want to bite certain people. It's like that guy, right? Yeah. That's power.
Wow.
Hey, so you
don't try that at home, though, guys.
No, I don't not try it anywhere.
No, I'm fucking scared about it because you guys try a lot of shit here. So
I actually get what you're saying about trying to get more and more extreme and what's the newest low you can, because we sort of fell into that trap too. It's like, how can we go fucking harder? How can we go harder? And that led to my downfall because he's trying to do the craziest shit ever.
No, so you got your son here. And he's like telling you to tell a story. Does he get into this kind of stuff?
Like what? Like how do you raise the kid?
Did you just freak him out?
Because my son knows I live the most ethical life right now. I'm married to his mom. He's my stepson. He's my real son. I mean, I raised him. I love him to death as much as my own kids, right? And he knows that my life is like the exact opposite these days. Like, I live a life with one woman who I love and adore, and I'm very lucky that, I got lucky to have an amazing partner. When you meet the right woman or the right partner in your life, just changes everything. So I got very lucky with that, right? So a great partner. And also just, everything I do right now is based on giving massive value to people, helping people. So I can look back now with perspective and laugh. Someone asked me a question. I'm not embarrassed about one thing I did. You know why? Because that was I made mistakes.
And it's what made you what you are
we all
today.
make mistakes. And you know what? Everyone saw the movie. It's no secret. They're like, oh my God, you did that. You didn't see the fucking movie? I mean, it's not like it's a secret, right? But I would do it today. I mean, God, I'm like the most ethical person today. And I love my life so much more. But like I said, what makes sense when you're 25 doesn't make a lot of sense when you're 50.
But do you ever feel any like sort of expectation to try to like live up and be crazier than your dad? Or?
Well, I've had my crazy fun at university and such, but I don't have that. I've just never had that feeling.
Really?
No pink sheet hookers though, right?
No,
the one thing I want to say to really quick too is he luckily also understands what the flip side looks like.
Exactly.
And so that's the important part of the story. When you tell all this shit, and by the way you tell it, you've got a lot of downside in there. You're horrified by the depravity of all of it and all the downside, but it ultimately led to a jail cell. It ultimately led to a horrific place in life.
It's interesting though how a lot of people that watch the movie, like I know friends back home that watched it and they're like, I want to live like that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that's
Which isn't the movie's fault. That's like they were already doing that.
No. Okay. But just so you understand though, okay, when someone says that, that's not what they really mean, okay? No one wants to do that and go to jail and hurt people and have people lose money. That's not what people want. It's a suspension of disbelief. You see the movie and it's like, listen, one thing about gambling, which is a lot better than drugs, is that you get the sort of same crazy high but without being on drugs, right? So it's sort of like the downside is not unless you become a gambling addict. But the point is that you can watch a movie, get a certain feeling, right? But to actually live it and with all the downside, I don't think people really mean it. They love to have the glamour. Because here's the thing. It was glamorous. And the mistake that some people make is they want to say, you're glamorizing. No, it was fucking, I wasn't glamorizing.
It was glamorous.
It was fucked up and glamorous. Yeah. Okay. So, and the brilliance of Scorsese is he didn't make a moral judgment. One thing I hate, when I go to a movie or a TV, if they tell me how I should feel, they telegraph and it's a morality tale, I don't want to fucking watch. Let me see it and let me make my own decisions based on my own map of the world, right? So some people will look at it and say, I want to be like that. But if you really press them and ask them a few questions, they say, well, no, I don't mean like I want to, people to lose money. I want to, have overdoses in my life but I want the fast cars. I want to make money. I want to build a business. I want to be revered by my friends. I want to go to They want that. They want the good stuff without the bad. And here's the beauty. You can have that. In other words, if I could have whispered in my young ear, I could have had everything without the extreme downside. So there's no reason you can't, listen, right now I have this unbelievable life. I do really well. I have a great business and I have all this stuff with no downside. But I had to learn the lesson. So the idea for someone that's young, watch us, is you can have it. You can have it all. You can build an amazing business. You can go wild. You can even do drugs, by the way, responsibly if that's who you are.
But talk about how difficult that's for most people, especially with a drug as addictive as cocaine or
it just
depends.
What I'm saying? I've seen it all. I've seen both ways. All right. I say most people don't end up falling into the trap. Probably maybe 20 or 30% do. That's a lot though, because when they do, it's a fucking disaster. Right? Yeah. We all have someone in our family that had that problem, right? But the point is that you can take the things I did that were really awesome and don't model the insane parts and really live an amazing life. That's the message for the movie.
Do you think Scorsese did a good, he didn't glamorize it. He showed that side, but do you think he did a good enough job showing the actual downside, the wake ups, the what that's like to wake up covered? I'm sure you've woken up covered in shit and piss and with hookers that you couldn't get out of.
I was really lucky that I had bodyguards following me around.
But talk a little bit about that disgusting life that it leads to, like the feeling of waking up so despaired and so fucking.
Well, that's just drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like in other words, it wasn't so much that. Listen, I had so much money that I was insulated from a lot of the grit and grime that most people would fall into. I did never had that because I was followed around by handlers who'd pick me up out of every rose bush I fell asleep in. Yep. They'd pick me up out of the soup when I drowned in a bowl of soup. They'd pick my head up and fucking clean my face. So I had a lot of enablers. My ex-wife was the best enabler of all. She used to make a bread pillow for me. So like as my head was bobbing during dinner, she'd go, "Do you have some bread, please?" She'd make a nice little pillow bread, so I wouldn't fucking crack my head open, right? So she's a great enabler too. So, but the point is that the downside is the emotional despair.
Hell yeah.
I tried to commit suicide. I literally took an overdose. I was done. I was like, you just get to a point you're so done. And the beauty is, and there's always a light at the end of the tunnel here, which is not an oncoming train, is that, when you're done with drugs, it's actually really easy to get sober. The problem is all the pain and suffering you have to go through before you're done.
To get there.
Yeah. When change happens, it happens in a heartbeat. Yep. Instant. You can change like that. But the problem for most people is you got to go through a lot of pain and suffering before you really feel the impetus to change. So
and other people that are around you need to go through a lot of pain.
No doubt, of course. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. But anyway, listen, you look, again, like the key is you got to look at it for what it is. It's an awesome fucking movie. The business side, the sales stuff, that stuff lives on. all over the world. I get calls every day. You have hundreds of people that their lives are just going, parabolic because they learn how to close and sell. And that's the great stuff, the entrepreneurship and the sales, right?
Yep.
The other stuff, the unethical stuff, yeah, that was a mistake for sure. But, at least, I use it as listen, you are where you are in life, right? So there's two things you could do. You can either wallow in, oh my God, I made all these mistakes. Or you can learn and grow from them. You're not the mistakes of your past. You're just not. You're the resources of your past.
So is that what you're doing now when you describe the ethical side? You're teaching people the benefits of sales and those tips, or what is that ethical lifestyle that you're now living?
What are you doing nowadays?
Well, I'm just living like a basically normal human being in the sense that, I'm not out there partying like a rock star.
You still got cash though. You still got money.
Well, I'm not suffering, right?
Look, I looked up your net worth. And I'm not sure. I always do this with our guests with money, but I'm not sure I understand because it said you had to.
I'm worth $100 million, but I owe money.
Is that what this negative sign is?
If you believe what you read online, pal, and I want to go into your things, so read some stuff about you. There's such nonsense online. So
I've never seen the minus sign
what?
in front of
That's a first.
Is your net worth negative $100 million?
You believe what you read online? Then I don't know.
It's always wrong.
By the way, then I have a bridge to sell you. By the way, so anyway.
No, I'm gonna look at mine right now. Actually,
All caps, yeah, but not the low.
Yeah.
oh shit! Oh fuck! I'm balding. Ow! Damn!
Wait, can you look up Jake's?
Jake Paul net worth. Hey,
You guys actually believe this?
No,
stuff?
of course not. Of course
It's
not.
nonsense.
19 million too.
Wait, what?
Just so
What's
happens.
good?
There you go.
Yo, Pam reached out to Google. She's like, "Can you make both my sons equal so they don't fight?"
Hey, so how did the movie get made? You wrote a book while you were in jail, yeah, and then after, or
No, I taught myself to write while I was in jail.
Okay.
And then I wrote the book when I got out of jail.
okay,
Where were you in jail?
I was in two jails. I went to-
Federal, right?
Federal. I went to Taft,
Yep.
which was actually in Southern California. And then I went up to Oregon for about 10 months. I went through some drug program. You get time off, right?
Yep.
And it wasn't bad. It was I would say it was club fed, but it wasn't a terrible place to be.
Club Fed, that's a Goodfellas line, right? Was it Goodfellas where they got, remember they were all in the cell together
Yeah,
eating
but
bacon
no, that
and
was
shit?
state. That was state, but everyone was on the take back.
was it as glamorous as it was in the movie? Like, were you playing tennis in like white outfits and stuff?
It was tennis there, and it was. Listen, here's the thing, guys. Yeah, no violence, tennis courts. I had people working for me, a cook, and all this sort of stuff. Right,
Sounds
You're a
great.
guy, a butler.
Sounds better than real life.
But jail's fucking jail. You're in jail. You can't see your children. You can't leave. You have no privacy. Your life's it sucks. Jail sucks, right? So, I decided to turn, lemons into lemonade, and I figured I'd teach myself a skill, which was to write. I wanted to,
Awesome.
when I went into jail, my bunkmate turned out was Tommy Chong from Cheech and Chong. That was just
No way.
my luck.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, sorry,
was
he
he
was
in?
your what? He was your what? Your bunkmate?
We shared a bunk.
Was Tommy Chong?
Yes. So they put us together because we were both
that's crazy.
We were both like well-known public
How did-
figures.
how did you-
So they
okay,
put us
okay.
together, right? So we shared a cell together, and there's not much to do in jail but tell stories, right? So I'm telling Tom these stories, and he's rolling on the floor, right?
This sounds
And after a
incredible.
few days, he says, "Dude, I thought you were making this shit up, but my wife Googled you. It's all true." He goes, "It's crazy. You got to write a book." I'm like, "Really?" Because and that's the insanity. I didn't think my life was even exciting.
Wow.
Because it was so like
Normal
whatever,
to
it's
you.
my life,
Did,
right?
did Tommy have any good stories?
Yeah, he did, but he was like, believe it or not, Tommy's a really intelligent,
Oh, hell yeah.
reserved. He's actually he's a very impressive guy, but I thought he was a brilliant guy. Funny stories, about he was doing his rock bands back in the day, but he was just so, I couldn't believe that my life actually happened.
How did he get in there?
Weed, right?
So it was ridiculous. He was selling bongs on, not even weed, bongs on the internet.
Paraphernalia.
And it was his son's company, and he took the fall for his kid, but it wasn't even for pot. It was for bongs. It's insane.
How long did he get?
A year and a day, and he did 10 months. And so he was my bunkmate, and he said, "You got to write this book." So I was like, "All right,
He did 10. So what do you do? 80% on Fed time?
you do like a year and a day.
What'd you do?
You have to do it a year and a day to get your 85%. You get good 15% off for good time.
And that's violent and non-violent for federal crimes.
Anyone,
right?
yeah.
How many years were you in jail?
Like 22 months. 22 months. So
Got it.
what happened was I started writing this book, tried to write. And I didn't know how to write, so my writing sucked. And after about a month, I showed Tommy my page. He'd be like, well, that really sucks. I said, thanks, Tommy. Tell me what you really think.
That's what he said.
So I was having a lot of problems writing. And then what happened was after about a month of failing at it, I went into the prison library and just picked up a book by chance called Bonfire of the Vanities, written by Tom Wolfe. As soon as I started reading this book, I'm like, fuck, that's how I want to write. And I read this book cover to cover in a day, 700 pages. Right? Next day, take out a yellow highlighter and I start underlining, highlighting shit. And I started cracking Tom Wolfe's strategy for writing. Like I was figuring out how he writes. I was saying how he brings in character, he describes how he creates confidence. And I modeled Tom Wolfe. And then after that, I read Hunter S. Thompson, modeled him.
Yeah, Fear and Loathing.
And then when I wrote my book, New York Times in their actual review, they said he sounds like his mentor is Tom Wolfe. I was like, bingo. So
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I learned to write in jail. Then I ripped up the pages. I didn't think they were good enough. When I got out of jail, I was going to say, what should I build another business? And let me try to write a few pages. So I started writing. I wrote like 10 pages. I casually knew a book agent. So I sent him, I said, hey, I wrote this stuff. And he goes, so I sent him the pages. He goes, did you pay Tom Wolfe? He thought Tom Wolfe wrote them.
Wow.
That's how close they were, so dead on the Tom Wolfe's voice, right? So he goes, I goes, that's really weird. It's got an incredible voice. Write 10 more. So I wrote 10 more. It took me like about a week. Back in the day, I was a very slow writer, still am, all right? And I sent him the pages. He goes, stop everything you're doing. He goes, you have no idea what's going to happen to your life. I was like, what? He goes, just trust me. You have no idea. This is going to be a movie. DiCaprio's going to play you. This was in 2006. He said it.
Incredible.
Wow.
Scorsese's going to, he said this. His name's Joel Gottler, right? And then he brought in a woman, this incredible woman, brilliant woman named Alexandra Milchan, legend in the industry. She lives here. Her dad owns New Regions, is Arnon Milchan, her total legend. He's a fucking, Arnon's the fucking real deal. Okay, former Israeli arms dealer who sold South Africa the atomic bomb. No, he's a real heavy heart. And then he's an amazing guy. He's like the best, this guy, right? He owns one of the largest studios. He's made hit movie after hit movie, right? Famous guy. His daughter is just a chip off the old block. My agent knew her. He sent her like the first 30 pages. She's like, holy shit. She goes, and then we met. Turns out her husband was in the same dorm as me in college, right?
Amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Right, anyway, and we started just, as I was writing the book, we were meeting and as soon as the book was done, she passed it to Leo and she passed it to Brad Pitt, to Clooney, and to Wahlberg. And a bidding war started. They all wanted it was a bidding war, right? And at the time, Wahlberg was not as much of a star. Like now he's amazing, right?
Yeah.
I always loved him, right? But it really keep my age. He's not as big as Leo and Brad Pitt back then, right? Now he's huge, right? So both sides said, whatever they pay, I'll pay it 10% more. So the bidding was going up and up and up, and I couldn't believe it, And I was still fucking broke at the time.
Yep.
I was just getting back on my feet, right?
Yeah.
So I was like shocked this was happening, right? And then Leo calls up and goes, oh, Marty Scorsese wants to direct the movie.
Holy
And I was like, shit, well, how do I turn that down?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I went, and I also always loved Leo too, and that was that. So I sold to Marty and Leo. And this is the most interesting part for your viewers, right? For young people, you got to hear this is the greatest story of all, I think. So
Tell that guy right there when you say it.
Who's that?
That's the camera that's on your face right now. Tell the young viewers.
I'm gonna tell you this story, guys. Listen, this is a lesson.
But talking to the mic also.
This is a lesson in self-empowerment.
Now do a handstand. What
I
the
do a
fuck?
handstand.
Just let him fucking live, Mike.
Here's the deal. Throughout your lives, guys, you get a lot of shit's just not going to go the way you want, right? And you get really close to success and it'll be snatched away from you. And a lot of people at that time, that's when they start telling themselves a bullshit story while they can't get what they want in life and they give up, right? So what happened was Warner Brothers bought the rights for Leo. A guy named Terry Winter, famous writer, he pens the script. Usually takes 5-6 drafts. The first draft's unfucking believable. Like dead on balls, very close to the movie that was released, right? Warner Brothers greenlights the movie. It's 2007 now, all right? They just need to do a couple of polishes. Writer's strike hits. Pens go down, all right? The window passes, all right? And just like that, Leo and Marty go off to do Shutter Island. Remember that movie, Shutter Island?
Incredible movie.
That was it, right? So now I went from having this thinking a movie would come out, like, and I'd be right back up there, right? To nothing. And now I'm just like, fuck, right? Now,
so you didn't get the money by that point. Did they pull out of the deal, or you still got the money?
It's an option money. But the point was that it's not what you make on the movie per se. It's the fame and the things that come from that. If you know how to capitalize that. So anyway, so I was devastated. I was blown away, right? And then GFC, the global financial crisis hit. So I was saying I'll be a writer. You couldn't make money as a writer. No one was writing checks after Lehman Brothers went bust, right? So I was listening. I just had met Bowen's mom. Bowen was 10, all right? And we're struggling badly. And I was just so, and now just so you understand, the movie that you saw was very different in the draft in 2008. In other words, so what happens is, what am I going to do? I'm like, I have no money. The GFC here, I said, fuck it. I'm going to become a speaker and I'm going to train sales. I was always the best sales trainer in the world. Like, that was my gift, really superpower, just to take people and make them into world-class closers, right? So I started going out there, get a couple of free speeches, and boom, boom, boom. Next thing I know, I have this huge speaking business starts going. I'm training people all over the world. It blows up, making a fortune again, right? Yep. So now it goes to like 2012, all right? And I'm doing really, really well. I'm back living in a mansion on the beach, the whole thing, right? And Leo calls me. Guess what? We're ready to roll. It's coming back around, right? Great. He comes to me, he goes, what the fuck happened to your life in 4 years? You were broke when I met you. You're rich. How the hell that happened? All right. I said, well, I tell you what happened. Here's what I do. I teach this system called the straight line. I show them the videos. I train salesmen. Companies all over the world hire me. Big ones, Fortune 500, small ones.
Were you pitching him to hire you for a straight line?
No, I was telling him what was going on, explaining my life, right? Because he didn't understand how I got rich again so fast. Although it was not so fast. It was a few years, but it appears to be fast from the outside, right? So anyway, him and Scorsese was so freaked out by my comeback that they changed the entire third act of the movie. In the original draft, the movie ended with me in jail. And that was it. No comeback story, not me on stage, not the Jordan Belfort that comes back and trains salespeople.
Wow.
Still a good movie, but for me, that's not really the story I would love to be known for. Okay, the story that I was able to come back and create this incredible program people use all over the world. So what happened is this, basically. So things went terribly against me. I lost this window of opportunity in 2007 and could have curled up in a ball and died and said, fuck it, why go any further with this, right? Instead, I built a massive business in spite of that. And when it came back around, it made the movie 100 times. I changed my own life story while it was being written. And that's how the movie is. It ends with me on stage introducing Leo in a seminar to 1,000 people. And obviously what that did for my business was incredible. So it's a perfect example for everybody listening about just how you move through life. You can either be someone that allows the environment to dictate how you feel or what you do, or you make your own fucking way. Hannibal, either find a way or make a way. You got to make your own way. The world doesn't happen to you. You create your own world. Shit's going to go wrong all the time, but you can have two paths. The paths of all the reasons why I can't get what I want, or a path of results where I get exactly what I fucking want and won't stop till I do. That's the bottom line.
Hey, I love that. Hey, did y'all hear that? That was great. And I feel like I can relate to your story a lot because I had that fuck up in Japan. I don't know if you know about it.
I do know.
Yeah, so
it was listen, honestly, it was, what the fuck was so terrible about it?
I mean,
it was a joke. No, it wasn't. No, listen, I'm going to tell you flat out, it wasn't so bad what you did. Okay, but when you're your age and they can nap, they're going to fucking do anything to knock you down. And because of that, maybe you should have known better. Anyone else could have done that and they would have said, oh, whatever, no one would have cared. Okay, so no, what's so fucking terrible? Someone was dead. I feel bad for the dead guy, but what do? You didn't kill anyone. But when you are who you are, you're a target. People always try to knock you down in this life, right? That's okay. When I saw something, and I no doubt you would, it would be, listen, you could take a hit, you'll come back twice as strong. Because I know when I see someone like you guys, right? You didn't get here by accident. It's not luck. Yeah, you can get lucky, hit the fucking lottery. Yeah, you're born into the lucky sperm club and you inherit money. Yeah. But when you find young kids making a lot of money, there's always a reason why. Or they did something, they saw an opportunity, they jumped through it and they built around it. They had a savvy sense of brand and branding and growing that brand and monetizing. It doesn't happen by accident. So a lot of people are jealous, haters out there. They love to, and listen, what it is, it's very few people, but they're very vocal and very fucking loud.
Hey, that's what I always say.
I love my haters. I love that. I hope all you guys who hate me, I love you. Keep hating me because you increase my engagement. So just
I say this all the time.
No, fucking dude.
More comments.
Just say terrible things about me because every time you do, it's like $10.
If you're watching this, you don't like us, please comment some hate.
Let us know below.
No, listen, if I went after, if this house burnt down right now and I saved your mom, the dogs, if I carried you all out on my back because I wouldn't pass out from carbon monoxide because I have a special fucking nervous system because I'm immune to everything, right? And I save everybody. They write it on and say, Jordan Belfort saved 29 people, including 2 babies, 3 dogs, an infant. The same Jordan Belfort, who 38 years ago ripped off investors.
Because that's the news cycle.
That's the news
in
cycle.
America,
You know,
right?
and that's okay. If you can't learn to embrace that and laugh at it, you're gonna have a miserable fucking life.
I heard you. I heard you going into some shit earlier,
my
and
God.
I want to ask you the new sensitivity of America.
fuck that
Well, I
shit.
want to hear your
I don't
thoughts
give a
on it.
fuck. I hate snowflakes.
I love you.
I love you,
Jordan. I love you.
You know what?
I love you.
Fuck snowflakes. Fuck you all. Okay? Seriously, I hope you really melt. Okay? Go into your safe spaces and fucking disappear forever. You know, let me tell you something. The world is not a safe place. It's just fucking not. Okay? I have nothing personally against you as a human being, but the way you fucking act, shame on you. All right? It's ridiculous. It's so self-entitled and so victim. Like, you know what? It's such a victim mentality. All right? That's all it is. It's just, I love being a victim. I'm a fucking victim. Fucking stop. I won't let, thankfully, I'm at a point, I don't have to let those people near me. I don't rely on sponsors. I don't care what anyone fucking thinks. Okay, I don't let those because those people are like toxic cancer. You know what you do with cancer? You fucking cut it out, or else before it kills you. I don't surround myself with negative people. I have an office. I got 30 kids. They're all young, working for me, and it's the most awesome crew. That my son's like the spiritual leader. This crew of kids are unbelievable, talented, hardworking, and there's not one negative fucking. I can't.
awesome.
It's so funny the way you put that. I had all these issues, and every time a therapist or a doctor or a counselor at a clinic or something said, maybe it's because of your anxiety, maybe it's because of how your parents treated you, maybe it's because you're feeling this way. You want to know when I got clean and I started getting my life together? When I said, yo, I'm fucking up and it's time to take control of my life.
Listen, you know what?
Like, yo, you got to get hard, bro.
I touched on this before, guys, all right? And I said this, you know, there's two ways to go through life. One way, and it's really about your belief systems. And one belief is that the world happens to me.
Yep.
I'm a creature of circumstance. Things just happen to me and it's like fate. I'm out of control, right? That's a really disempowered way to live. And it's honestly, it does not yield wealth, happiness, meaning for relationships. It's just fucking misery on misery, poverty, and trying to drag people into your shit, okay? 3 things happen when you have that belief. When you think the world happens to you, number one, you blame. You play the fucking blame game. You blame your parents, you blame your school teachers, you blame the government, you blame the fucking economy, you blame everybody but one person, your fucking self.
Yep.
That's number one. The second thing you do is you justify. You justify why it's okay that your life is shit. Oh, I don't need to make a lot of money. Oh, I can live on level alone. Oh, really? Really? And do me a favor. Next time it's the first of the month, go to the fucking bank and say, I'd like to deposit some love to pay the fucking rent. See what they fucking do. They'll take you away in a straitjacket, okay? Money is the most important thing in the world for a few basic things. There's a few things you need. Food, shelter, take care of those you love, right? So you need to make fucking money. I've seen more marriages, more relationships destroyed by financial pressure. Now, I'm not saying money buys happiness. That's not true. It doesn't. I've been rich and miserable, okay? But a lack of money is a passport to fucking misery. I played it both ways. I've been rich. I've been poor. I'll choose rich every fucking time and never look back. I still have problems being rich. Okay, but being poor, it's fucking, you know, it's compounded by all the shit that comes from not being able to afford the basic necessities. So I say make money, get rich, solve the money problem, and then move on to all the greater things, right? That's number 2. And the third thing, besides justification, okay, so they blame, they justify, and here's the worst, they complain. They fucking complain. And here's what you're doing. When you're complaining, you know what you're doing? You're focusing on everything that's wrong in your life. You complain about this. You know what happens? And here's the universal law. What you focus on, you move towards. Yep. And also what you focus on, you attract. So imagine when you are focused, when you're complaining, you know what you're doing? You're focusing on all the shit in your life. So you know what you become? You become a giant shit magnet. You attract shit into your life, all right? They're like, I don't understand why I'm supposed to stop fucking complaining. You attract shit into your life. You focus on shit, you'll attract shit and go towards shit, right? So I don't even want to be near those people. I fucking get the fuck. Yeah, shit might hit me, you know? Yeah. And by the way, and there is real shit in life. You walk through life and shit happens. That's why there's bumper stickers, right? You're walking through life, doing everything right, and bam, you get hit with a lump of shit. And that's when you can tell yourself the bullshit story, you know, why I can't get what I want, and all the reasons why, or you can take fucking control of your life and be a person that's not a creature of circumstance, a creator of your own life, creator of circumstance, and that's the empowered way to live. Yeah, that's how people get rich.
What about question about like more science or like brain-based situations?
I'm not a biochem major.
Right, of course not. But do you think?
No, I'm a biochem major. I know everything about science.
Are you really or not?
I am really.
You got photographic memory.
No, I know everything about science.
Oh shit! Yeah. So
I aced my MCATs.
So question for you: Do you think that there are?
Say again.
Look up stuff and ask a question.
You got a photographic memory?
Well, close to it, but it's a little cloud. But yes, I do. But anyway, let's it's a party trick.
Do you think there are things that certain people have to deal with that are out of their control, such as anxiety, depression, or do you believe that those are?
It's absolutely positively a combination of both.
Okay.
Nature and nurture. Okay. We're all brought into this world with certain advantages, disadvantages. Yeah. Listen, it's part chemistry. Some people, listen, no matter what you do, they're going to go nuts with schizophrenia or bipolar at 22 years old. Then hopefully they can control it. There's some shit that you get dealt a bad hand, and that's that. Okay. Yeah. But here's the thing. We all have that. All of us have our own disadvantages. We were brought into this world with enough and some advantages. My greatest advantage was an ability to close the deal, to sell and train others to do the same. That's my strongest advantage. Hey, I'm a smart guy. I did great in school. I have a great memory. But the point, I know what my strengths are. I know my weaknesses are. So what I want to do, I want to build up my strengths and also surround myself with people that actually are great at my strengths. So I surround myself with people who are really great at what I don't do well. And then I take my stuff that I'm an expert, best in the world at. That's how you want to move through life. That's everybody. So some people are going to have anxiety because they're wired for anxiety, right? And you know what? Or bipolar. What's his name? Who founded CNN? Okay, okay, like a perfect example. Okay, so here's a guy, right, who founded so many people. By the way, here's like the worst thing. Right, the worst thing of all is this whole fucking thing. Everyone's taking AD. Everyone's got he's got ADHD in school. They give the fucking Ritalin. What a joke! I think ADHD is a fucking asset.
Yeah, of course.
This is the biggest fucking scam in the medical community in the world. Okay, let me tell you something. It's mad.
I call it multitasking. I call it multitasking. You're really, really good at multitasking.
Honestly,
ADHD, like back in the day, like hunter-gatherer times, those were the people that would not settle for this small little safe community. They would go out and keep creating, and then they would find other threats, find other things.
I'm fucking bored because my teachers suck and the curriculum is stupid and doesn't learn anything from me.
You're talking his language now.
No. Listen, honestly, my son graduated from college, right?
Yep.
And marketing, business, right? Comes to work for me after 7 days. Okay, he goes, I learned more in 10 days than I did in all my year. It's like the shit they teach you in college is nonsense. All my kids have gone to college and all graduate. Right? I wouldn't, if it was up to me, I'd never fucking say. I think it's a big. Unless now, my daughter, different. She's going a professional route with a license and degree. She needs that. But for the average person, I think this whole thing that you must go to college is utter bullshit. It's inflated price because it's a scam. They're taking the student loan money from the bank so the colleges raise their. Nothing has gone up more in price faster than tuition. Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah. And if you want to ask for a $40,000 loan to the bank, like you're not going to get it. But if you go for a student loan,
and now
they'll
watch,
give it to you.
So not only is it okay, right? So watch it. So here's the thing: what caused the mortgage crisis? Partly, besides corrupt bankers on Wall Street and idiot fucking bankers in Iceland who bought this shit, right? Is people who were unsophisticated that had no business
taking those loans.
Well, you know what? A kid, okay, if my daughter, who's graduated from NYU grad school, if they lent her $100,000, you know what? She'd pay back every dollar. Why? Because she's a studious person who's going to make something from that degree, right? But most kids, they end up in a mountain of fucking debt. So they allow people to borrow money who had no business borrowing money. They inflate the value of a bogus diploma because it's worth nothing in the real world, okay? Except if it's from a very special place, right? In certain cases, it's an exemption. Yep. But here's the other part of the equation. You can't discharge a student loan with bankruptcy. So unlike other debt, the government has changed the fucking rules. You can't discharge it. Okay, so you're fucking stuck.
With that loan, You're
stuck with those. People are stuck with these loans. Thank God my kids don't have student loans. I'm glad I'm proud of that because I think it's gross. It's disgusting. Now, it can't be free education. That won't work for sure, but they got to change. It's
broken. The system's broken.
You know what's broken? I'll tell you what's broken. It's broken like the pharmaceutical industry is broken. In other words, you go to England. I take a drug called Provigil. You know what Provigil is? Medicinal, right? It's a wake-up pill I take. Right? I get it from the doctor. It's good for jet lag, right? I take it all the time. I love this pill, right? All right. Cost me, I think, $30 or $40 a pill in the US.
Damn.
Yep.
Cost me 50 cents in England for the same exact pill.
That markup game in America is crazy. Remember that whole thing with Skrillex, the dude?
And that's the tip of the fucking iceberg.
Crazy.
Okay?
Crazy.
So the point is that, it's like the pharmaceutical so inflated the price. They create this artificial economy propped up by in the case of student loans, propped up by the federal government. In the case of the drug industry, it's propped up by insurance companies. Yeah. It's a whole fucking daisy chain, okay? And it's a disaster.
Shout out Daisy.
Yeah.
Quick thing while you're going hard right now. You mentioned really quickly, and I caught it earlier, AOC, and I want to hear your thoughts on the Green New Deal and climate change.
It's a fucking joke. Here's the thing about climate change. I don't believe in it. You know why? Not that I don't disbelieve in it. Who fucking know? You think it's such a self-important thing that we actually, as human beings, the fucking volcano erupts. Dude, the only thing true about climate change is it's always changing, always for the last, how many millennia, right? And maybe human beings are doing something, but you know what? Something will happen with a volcano will erupt.
I saw that recently on the internet that there's a volcano
let me finish my thought though. But here's the thing, it doesn't fucking matter. Because I believe in fucking, you should never shit where you eat. We should protect the planet.
For sure.
I just don't think it's because of climate change. I agree that they should do everything to bring down gases, all the stuff to protect the planet, but not because it's changed, because it's responsible to do. I'm totally all for it. I would donate money towards that cause, but not because I think it's bullshit narrative that's been forced on people. And maybe it's true. But there's no way that people really know that at this point.
Well, there's 95% of scientists.
That's a lie.
That say,
no, it's not. It's not true. 95% of the scientists say handpicked. It's just a false statement. So, okay, go check it. It's not true. Okay?
I don't know.
No,
about
it's just
that.
not true. Okay, so it's just not true.
There's a majority of scientists that have evidence that humans
it's not true.
are amplifying climate change.
It's not true.
Where are you getting that from?
Go dig into the facts. That 95% is a select group of people that all agree in climate change. That's who they polled. It's not all scientists around the world. I promise you,
20,000 plus scientists.
Pal, it's just not true.
And
by the way, if you
got pals, bro.
No, listen. Listen.
I like it.
I read up on this stuff. I know my facts and figures. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. Here's the story, though. It doesn't matter. I believe that we should do everything to protect I'm a green guy.
Well, that's all I'm saying is
I think climate change. It's just like, who fucking knows?
Just out of moral,
it might very well be right. 50-50 shot.
You're right when you look back and in our history, like we over exaggerate the moment that we're a part of right now. Yes, we're amplifying it. Yes, it's at a very rapid rate of increase of climate change. Absolutely.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, man.
It's not.
Yes, it is. No. Look at polar ice caps melting.
No,
look at what our oceans are doing, how acidic they are.
Go read the New York Times article from NASA.
Go to the actual Great Barrier Reef.
Buddy, NASA released
That's where you'll see it.
NASA released a study just last week saying that there's been more buildup of ice sheets than losing. It's increasing. You're wrong.
Can we hold on a sec? Hold on. Let me
go Google it right now.
Google it.
Let me interject.
It's just not true.
You have to step
I have
back.
friends down in the Great Barrier
Go Google it.
Reef that are showing images of it.
Everybody
though.
needs to.
Yeah. In one spot, it's
there.
increasing, and it's twice as much as increasing.
But that's because of
mass gains
of Antarctic ice sheet gradient losses. Thank you very much. Don't fucking tell me, pal. Okay, pal. I don't know what you're talking about. You read one article.
This is from 2015.
Dude,
shit.
You said this just came out.
Oh no, Spencer in the details.
So don't shit talk me when you haven't even done your facts.
No, it's been. This is one article. There's tons of them. Okay.
Yeah, but
it came out again last week.
Also, I mean that's
let's
one source.
all step back for a sec. I want to say something.
Dude, you can't.
There are equal sources on both sides of the spectrum.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I can't say you're wrong, but I'm not saying you're definitely. How could you be so certain?
What?
Who fucking knows what's going on?
I think you're assuming
you want to protect the planet because we live here, right? But the fucking climate, it's a joke. It's a fucking.
Who do you think is the right?
Wait. You're saying climate change is a joke, but it's not. Climate is always changing.
The idea that we're doing something that's going to destroy the planet
that
is a joke.
Human-driven climate.
I think it's a total joke.
How? If we have 8 billion people consuming resources,
you ever go into the fucking water and see how many fish there are and see how many animals in the fucking jungle,
and we're overfishing.
How much shit happens? Okay. Anyway, right.
We're overfishing. That's like a known.
Well, listen. To Spencer's
the amount of overfishing that we're doing is destroying ocean life.
Okay. You know what? I live in a world where the reality is that I remember when Al Gore said something. What was that? I think by now New York will be flooded. If you go back and when he first came out with this whole theory, we would be underwater by now. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
It's just nonsense. Guys.
I agree with you. People are doing it for an agenda.
But nobody knows.
Definitely.
I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not saying I'm sure I'm right. I'm saying it's a 50. Who knows?
Right.
I watched.
I like the viewpoint because
last night. You ever watch Snowpiercer?
No.
Chris Evans, right? They tried to stop global warming by reducing and turn it into the fucking froze the earth. Boys, no one really knows. There's only unintended consequences from everything we do. Yeah. Unintended consequences, chaos theory.
I think the mindset to like worry about it is definitely, it can be damaging, but we should take preventative measures, and we should look at
I just
things
think
like overfishing, things like ocean acidification.
But that's, overfishing is not climate change. And also-
Over-farming,
Stop,
like-
listen. Here's the point. Ready? I agree that you'd be insane not to have legislation to protect the planet, to make sure that we're responsible. But it has nothing to do with climate change. The only constant is that climate's changing. It's probably getting colder. Jordan, that's what you probably find out.
Jordan, who do you think is going to lead us to legislation that helps the planet?
Well, Leo's. By the way, so
Leo?
I agree. So, no, I love what
I like Leo.
Listen, I love what Leo. So here's the thing. I don't agree with the science part of it. I agree with the outcome. Let's make the earth. Why not do that? Right. When I was, you guys are too young. Your mom would remember this. There was a commercial with the Indian, right?
I remember crying with the tear in his eye.
Right. I mean, I cried. Of course. Right.
Of
Okay.
course.
So like, yeah, of course you want to not be polluting the air and dumping shit in rivers. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
and gross.
but do you think saying that is enough? Because
the Green New Deal is nonsense. It's a fallacy.
Mm-hmm.
It's going nowhere. It's a joke. It's a fucking. It's fantasy.
What's the solve?
It would bankrupt the whole. By the way,
what is it? $1 trillion? How much is it?
How is that going to matter? That's the Green New Deal just for the United States. What about China, India? You ever go there? The fucking air pollution is so bad.
Crazy.
So how is the U.S. going to? If the Earth is going to be gone, and what did you say? 12 years it was. So how the fuck does the Green New Deal matter? Because China and India are fucking doing worse. There's no impact that we can have. We're one country. The U.S. isn't the whole world.
The scary thing though is when you get caught up.
Because if we can make a change, then we can bring that to other sense.
So you believe that in 12 years the Earth is going to be gone and destroyed if we don't? You really think that?
I don't think that. No.
Okay, right. She's out of her fucking mind to say that. Okay, she really is.
I think that
so
we're
ridiculous. Nothing against the person.
playing with fate,
listen, I have a lot of respect for her. Well, man, she's a hell of a fucking branding expert.
Hell yeah.
You got to respect her.
Hell yeah.
Okay, for what she's
and
done.
She could speak and she could rally.
Well, she could speak and she says a lot of stupid shit. But you
could see how important. But you could see how important rallying a crowd and saying stupid shit is, and what it can make you right now.
It's not in this country. It's not that everything she says is stupid. Okay,
right.
That's the point. She had a very good thing. She came out yesterday with credit card debt. They want to decrease her and Bernie Sanders. Okay, now I'm a libertarian, all right?
Yep.
They want to cap credit card interest at 15%, including payday loans. That's a great thing to do. And shame on the Republicans for not supporting. They should. So I don't disagree with everything she says. I'm not with any one party, but what I am is with reality. The Green New Deal is not. It's like a joke.
What's the total cost of
$89 trillion or something? It's a joke.
89 trillion. It's something like that.
No, it's like no. It's about you have to airplanes. No, you have to stop cows because they fart. Cow farting. This shit like no, I'm not.
No, it's methane.
No, I'm not
they
making
fart
it up.
methane.
They're
the most dangerous.
Just stop. It's a nonsense. Okay, and no one's going to support it. It's never going to go anywhere. It's never going anywhere. But that being said, listen, I think that step by step, okay, as human beings, we need to protect the planet. But I don't think it's coming from any.
What's the first step?
The first step, things have gotten a lot better than they were. When I was growing up, okay, oh my God, we never had anything. We had everything. It was not even a hint. It was the freaking back then, it was like the ozone layer, was a hole in the ozone layer. That's since replenished itself, okay? That was to be the big thing. We're all going to die of cancer. I don't even die of cancer from the ozone, okay? Everyone's still lying out the fucking beach, okay? The point is, they're always on some hysterical scare to try to move public money and policy in some direction. As you said, there's always an agenda. That's what bothers me about the climate change stuff. Because I fully agree that we want to do everything possible to protect the climate. Not because it's changing. It's changing, but who knows where.
The problem is with that outlook is that sometimes without urgency, nothing happens. So like you'll say like, yeah, by all means, we should take care of the planet. But if people don't feel like there's something at risk to change their ways.
You know what you should,
you know what I'm saying?
First rule of influence and persuasion, okay?
Yeah.
If you say something that's utterly ridiculous, it's not logically, her problem, there's two types of certainty. You have logical certainty and emotional certainty. Okay, in order to close a sale or close people on your viewpoint, you need to have both. Her emotional case is also they say logical is the fucking it makes no fucking sense, and her whole framework is ridiculous.
But not to say I'm on one side or the other, but there's reason to believe that our current leader was voted in based on emotional credibility. Like he wasn't going to play golf. He spent his entire presidency.
That's not why he was voted in.
By rallying crowds with lies.
No.
Yes, he was.
Dude, that's not what it's about. It was a fucking protest vote. Come on. It's
Okay, fair.
People voted him in because they fucking hate Washington. And he represented
Everything
the
that's not.
establishment.
Yeah.
Okay? And and the reason he won, I'll tell you why he won, because Hillary fucking Clinton stole the prime from Bernie Sanders, who would have been a much more formidable candidate. Because Bernie actually should have been elected as the Democratic Party. Hillary stole that, and because it was an inception of fraud there, she was not the duly elected person. Bernie was. You know what happened there, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, everyone knows this. Public information, right?
Yeah.
Bernie should have been there, so Trump won because you had an imperfect candidate. Wasn't even, this shouldn't have been there, okay? Terrible candidate, okay? Trump was a protest against.
For sure.
Like, people was like, and listen.
They weren't voting for him. They were
I voted
voting
for Trump because I'm like, something's got to change. I don't agree with I don't like a lot of the things he says. Okay, but I know that, guys, unless something happens with our fiscal deficit and our trade policies, you guys, not me, I'm going to be dead. You'll be fucked. You young people will be fucked because right now the country it's not a sustainable direction that we're going in.
If you were if you were the next president,
I will not be. I promise you.
Okay, but if you were, what would you recommend? What would you put into place to get us back on track or to help the economy?
I think that economically, Trump has fucking nailed it. He's nailed it. So there's not much I would do different. He's nailed it. And I agree with all the stuff, even with the tariffs, because it's just a game of chicken with him. It's not going to be long-term trade. It's going to be short-term to reset trade deals that should never been in the play. Our trade deals are so fucking bad. It's just like, it's ridiculous, right? That being said, so I agree with, but the thing that I would do differently though is the way it's being communicated, okay, is that Trump, he creates a visceral hatred among people. Yes. And that's just not productive. No, it makes it because we need. Imagine if we had a leader like Trump who could get the economy going, but everyone loved him.
Incredible. That would be. It's not his fiscal policy.
You can't argue
his communication.
Right. So, exactly. So if you could find the that would be amazing. So I wouldn't change much fiscally, but I would certainly I'm about as liberal as you get when it comes to things like gay. I don't care who you.
What about abortion? What about abortion?
Listen, here's the deal. Obviously I believe women should have the right to get abortions. Okay. I'm not pro-life. Okay. But I also believe that up to a certain point though, like past 6 months for me. It's very emotional. And here's the thing though, I don't think the government has the right to invade anyone's life. I'm a libertarian at heart. I don't believe the government should tell anyone what to do. But if you're gonna have some rule there, to me, it's 6 months. That's a fucking person. That gets a little dicey unless it's gonna harm the mother. But before that, I think women should have the choice to do what they do. It's my opinion. I understand it, and I totally understand and respect the pro-lifers. I get it. It's a very emotional thing. They have a different belief than I do about and I respect that. And I wouldn't even say that I'm right in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I don't know if there's a right or wrong.
So you saw the abortion ban in Alabama, yeah?
I did. Yeah, heartbeat law, yeah.
And you have thoughts on it?
It is what it is. Listen, so you go to the next state and get a fucking abortion. It's not the end of the world. Here's the problem. So the problem with abortion, I believe that the government should not have a word to say about abortions. They really shouldn't. But they shouldn't give fucking money. They fund the clinics. That's the point.
Right.
That's the difference. So I think the government should step away entirely, not fund clinics and give women the right to do what they want to do. And then it should be regulated on a state-by-state basis. I think the federal government's bloated. It's a massive bureaucracy. It was never intended to be that way. Most rights in the Constitution, the founders, the framers wanted to be reserved for the states. It should be regulated state by state. That's what I think.
Where did this all set in? I love hearing different perspectives of how did we get to the point we're at?
Started with FDR mostly, the New Deal and the Great Depression. You can go back even before that to Morgan in 1917 with the panic that formed the Federal Reserve. Starts based on the money supply. So they control the money supply. Government starts to go after the New Deal. They create Social Security net, becomes a welfare state. And reasons why. But remember, it wasn't FDR, it wasn't the New Deal that pulled us out of the Great Depression. It was World War II. It was the production. War is great for ending a depression, right? So it was the war that ended the depression, not the New Deal, okay? When you go to war, it's massive production and it gets everything going, right? Yeah. But again, this is before, I wasn't alive when he was there, right? But that was when the government took on its modern shape and form with FDR and all these. Before, that was a much smaller, leaner entity. And here's the fucking problem with the government. They can't. I mean, they can't administer anything. It's people. You put bureaucrats in charge of anything. Half the money goes wasted on bureaucrats, like the salaries and the bureaucracy. So it becomes an imperfect. It would be great if you could like perfectly deliver all these systems. Listen, communism fails, never works. Socialism, you know why it doesn't work? 2 reasons. Number one, take away the profit mode. You have a bunch of fucking drunk people. Okay, like in Russia, they say, "I'll keep pretending to work if they keep pretending to pay me."
You ever been to Russia?
Of course, many times.
What do you think of Moscow?
Unbelievable, great, beautiful women, beautiful.
Let me tell you something. We're going next week.
Best ever.
I'm excited.
It's the best. Listen, and you know what? The Russian people are fucking awesome. I don't know. This whole Russia thing drives me crazy. Russia's not a threat to us. China's a lot more of a threat.
That's what we're hearing.
Economically, China. I'll give China one thing. China attacks no one. They're very peaceful.
Yeah.
They do economic takeovers. Like I've been around the world to every country pretty much. Every country in the world. You name it, I've been there, right? China is fucking everywhere.
China or China?
China, right?
Jordan, I think we're switching gears. I think we're leaving government, and Logan's going to bring us. Logan's going to bring us elsewhere.
Am I though? I don't fucking know. I can't talk about anything. Come on, let's talk about
let's
women,
listen.
government, fucking science. You name it. I'm fucking knowledgeable subjects.
I have a bus outside. You see it?
I see. Sell me this bus.
Can you?
Well, I don't know.
How can I sell the bus? I need to get rid of the fucking bus.
Yeah, we're trying to get.
Can you sell the bus on a bus?
Okay, what's the book value? What does it say it's worth?
Probably about $250,000, bro.
$250,000. I wouldn't fucking pay $250,000 for that thing.
So help me. No, you asked me what it's worth.
No, we need you to sell it, not sell it.
I'm not saying that's
sell it.
No, I'm not saying that's my asking price.
Trying to find the real value. Let's see.
No. Okay, I ask you, what's the real intrinsic value? What if someone wanted to go buy a similar bus and did their homework and what would that bus go for?
$175.
$175. Okay. Right? It's number one.
Yeah.
So, right. So, number one, okay, here, right? Sell me this pen. Sell me these headphones. You know the whole thing, right? Well,
Hey, sell them the headphones. Sell the fucking headphones.
Hold on. I'm going to sell you the headphones. You ready?
Yeah. I can't hear you when you say that. Yeah.
Throw the headphones on, but it's going to cost you $5.
Wow!
Wow, that was great. Mike, I'm impressed.
And if only that would work. Anyway, the bottom line is there's only one thing to do when someone says, sell me a pen, and that's to start asking questions.
Right.
First of all, are you in the market for headphones? Are you in the, number one, the first step is you have to identify who's in the market for a bus like this. Okay? Because you can't sell a bus to people who don't want a bus. That's your first thing. But wait, like, the guy down the road, he ain't buying that fucking bus.
But how does he know that? How does he?
Because that's a specialty item.
But sometimes people see things and they just want them.
No, not that.
That's like cheese.
Not for
That's like
$175,000, pal. Okay, maybe if it was Leo's bus. Okay, but
whoa.
But no, you're famous. No,
He's YouTube's Leo.
Yeah, I know, but no.
Why?
I'm being dead honest
He's
with
like
you.
YouTube's Liam Neeson.
I'm being honest with you.
Close enough.
You get it. No, I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, of course, right?
No, if it was like someone like Leo, like he's the most famous guy in the world, right?
Of course.
So the point is that so when you have that bus, the first step, okay, if you really want to sell the bus, right, is step one is who's the market? Who are your buyers? You have to identify buyers. Then we have to reach out to those buyers. So we bring them into our sales funnel. Once we have the buyers, then it gets really fucking easy. Then we can actually ask them questions, find out what they want it for, and fucking close them on the bus. But you have to first find the right people.
What if the sales funnel is already fully developed by way of 15.8 Instagram followers?
Okay, well, so then send out a blast. Hey, I'm looking to sell my bus, right? That's step one. See your response. And then what's going to happen is, by the way, you know what you'll end up with? A bunch of like
12-year-olds.
No, probably 50,000 unqualified buyers and maybe 10 buyers. So what you want to, so then what you want to do is you want to have a weeding out process automated. So you have to answer certain questions. You're only looking for accredited investors, qualified buyers, right?
Danny.
Personally, I think a much better place to do it
Please
rather
don't.
than going through almost that. I think it's different. I would actually, something like that's such a specialty item, I don't think you'll get very far on Instagram. I think you'll do a lot better reaching out to people who would kind of use that. And it's an impulse sale. So you find
Impulsive.
By the way,
Impulsive.
quick
It's an impulsive sale.
note, Jordan. That's not a bus, by the way.
It's a cool
That
bus.
is
It's a cool bus.
Logan Paul.
It's like the short bus.
That is close. That is Logan Paul, the king of YouTube's personal bus that has been tricked out by West Coast Customs.
It's
It's
great.
got
It's great.
televisions.
It's
awesome.
It's
Yeah.
got this thing has so
Wi-Fi.
much
Right.
Wi-Fi.
Bathroom microwave.
I get this. Right. So that's the
half drank
that,
bottles of
fridge.
Smirnoff.
that comes later though. That comes after we find the right people to tell
Okay.
that story to.
Listen.
You don't want
Listen.
to do. You need someone to tell the story.
So what
to,
you're
though.
saying is we're stuck with
You're
this
not-
piece of
I'm
fucking
sorry,
shit.
no.
Is that what
Please,
you're
if you want to buy the
saying?
bus, please email
Mav@editor@gmail.com. You're not going to find the person down the street and say, hey, buddy, come here. You want to buy? That's not what you do. You want to be smart about it. What you do is, I bet you there's certain celebrities, certain companies, tour buses that how about this? You find someone. Okay, here's the perfect example. What you do. Okay, obviously, your target demographic. How old are they?
For the bus or
No, your
They've
demographic.
gotten older.
It depends.
Tell me.
I'm aging up, dude. Like this is probably
No,
18,
seriously.
18 to 24.
Great. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So what I would do, okay, is I would find, you're not going to find an 18-year-old who buy the bus, not that person, but who caters to that market and by buying your bus could attract that market. In other words,
Break people.
what's that?
Spring break.
Exactly. So there you go. So, in other words, so what you want to do now is you want to go to the spring break key mall, all the bars, all the restaurants down there, and we set up a whole promotion thing down there, and boom, you position it. You'll fucking sell the thing in 2 fucking seconds, and you by the way, you can.
We got
I
this-
think you're better off renting. I wouldn't even sell it. I fucking
Rent
do a
it for
sale lease
events.
back
We
and
got
fucking
this guy.
rent the
We got
fucking
this
house.
guy, Armani Azadi.
I know
think you know
Armani.
who he is.
Of course I
right?
know. I love Armani.
Right. I
love
think
Armani.
maybe we talked to him.
He's a good
and have-
man.
You're right.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's a
you're
great
right.
guy.
Hey, listen,
Amazing.
I want to talk about something else. When you see Billy McFarland, the guy who started the Fire Festival, do you have any advice for him? Is there any coming back for Billy McFarland?
Well, I would always say yes, except, and the answer is yes. It's always yes. But, the thing that disturbs me about is nothing with the Fire Festival. I get that. It could have gone the other way,
Yep,
right?
yep.
I totally get that. It was, and what I don't know is you don't always know what's true, what you see. But it looked like, from what I saw in the documentary, not on Hulu, but on Netflix, I think it was.
Yeah.
It looks like he came, when he was out on waiting sentencing, he was out running another scam
That's
again.
correct. That's correct.
And that's disturbing. So that's like, listen, I fucking made a huge error, right? And I'm very lucky I got a second chance. But if it came out that I was scamming again, I'm done. I have to be 10 times more ethical. And I'm fine, by the way, and I love it's great, okay? And I appreciate the chance I got here. I respect it. And I want to make sure that I know I have a lot of young fans. I always want to always balance out my message because I really believe the things I say about empowerment and also about, I can talk about my crazy life. I don't live it now. I don't recommend it, but I'll still say it was fun.
Yep.
It's the truth, right?
Yep.
It looks like he fucking just went right back to the same thing, and that bothers me. So if that's true, it makes it hard. But again, he comes out of jail. He's got a clean slate in the sense that, okay, he can tell a new story. I was fucked up. I didn't learn my lesson. Even after Fire Festival, I was still a fucked up dude. I had to go to jail. I had to find fucking God. And I picked up the Bible in jail, and I found fucking Jesus. Jesus is in and all of a sudden he's a new fucking story again. So he does that. And by the way, and if it's legitimate, if he's honest, he'll come back. A guy like that will always be able to make money. He's a salesman. He's a promoter. But if he comes out and fucks up again, he's the guy's a fucking 3 strikes. He's done. He'll go away for life, by the way.
So what were the crimes that you actually committed?
Securities fraud, money laundering.
Was there a point when you knew what was happening?
Oh, fucking A, yeah.
And you just were
Every
like,
day.
fuck it, I'm in too deep?
Pretty much, yeah. That's here's the thing. The first time I got a subpoena, it was from the SEC, civil subpoena, right? I literally vomited and couldn't sleep for 3 days. I was like it was like 1990, all right? Within 6 months, I got to spend my paper. Who gives a fuck? You become desensitized really quickly to that sort of stuff, right? You learn when you're under investigation, and I was under FBI investigation, and the FBI is a very good friend of mine. I speak to him all the time. Agent Coleman's a good friend, great guy. He's coming on my own podcast. I'm launching. You guys know I'm launching a podcast, and I want you to be on.
Congrats!
There.
Oh, that'd be
I want
awesome.
both of you guys on there.
Wait, is that the agent from?
His real name is Agent Coleman.
Okay.
Great guy, right?
You're just in a tough spot. He means you too.
You too.
You're just behind him. You're behind
I don't know.
him.
I don't know.
No, he does.
I love this guy, by the
He
way.
does. He's just behind. That's his.
you had that climate.
You know he doesn't know all
Hey, can we cut
facts
to the
about
wide?
this guy because he's passionate.
Can we get to the wide?
Yeah.
I respect the passionate.
Awesome.
But if you come on, we have
Seeing
one
the
rule. I
shot?
got to feed you meat.
Can we
No,
just
anyway.
see
I don't know
how
about
dedicated these guys are?
I respect everyone
Jordan's
else's-
videographers are like slowly just walking in. You know what? Why don't you also
Gotta get the shot.
Gotta get the shot. I don't give a fuck.
No, anyway, so wait, so what were we saying about? I was off.
Fun coupons.
But
About when the SEC hands you a paper and you
let
get
me tell you,
desensitized.
So here's what happened. The first time I really broke the law on Wall Street, right? had to do a trade, and if I would have done the trade the way it was supposed to happen, it would have been a red flag to the regulators. Like I had to buy a stock. Someone owed me stock that was $2, and the stock was $6. So if they would have sold to me at $2, made a $2 print while the stock was at $6. Say, what the fuck? Wait, you sold something's wrong, right?
Yeah.
So the guy sold me the stock at $6 and handed me a bag of $1 million in cash. You understand?
Yeah.
Quarter million shares. He sold me $4 a share, $250,000 in cash. So I got a bag of cash. And I was fucking so tortured over this $1 million bag. I said, I shouldn't do this. And I hadn't broken any laws yet, you know? I was like, all right, I'm doing it once and never again.
And that's the first step.
And there you go. And that's how it
Off to the
fucking
races.
starts. Now, that's one way it starts, okay? That started for me, right? With that fucking one step, and then your line of morality and ethics moves a little bit, and then these small, imperceptible steps. It's like, it's like you dip your toe into a hot bath, and you're like, fuck. And then 30 minutes later, you're like, it's perfect.
Yeah, like when you first get into a hot tub. Yeah.
Right. So that's, but then there's another path also. The other path, this is just as common, if not more, is people who make a mistake and they lose money, but they're scared to tell people. So they try to cover it up as, let me just do a bigger trade. I'll make it back. And that's how a lot of Ponzi.
It's called chasing.
Get it? So there's a rule in trading. Your first loss is your best loss.
Yep.
But a lot of people, they, if I do that, my business will die. And so they try to cover that up and not disclose it. And that starts this whole chain that gets bigger and bigger. And then there's people like Bernie Madoff, who like from the very first thing, it's like 7 years a fucking scam from the fucking start, right? But, I knew after about 2 years, like it was way out of control. Morality wise, and also legally, listen, 98% of what we did was legit. It was a couple of things we were doing that were very wrong, but everyone was doing them. So they were. It's like, as you found out on Wall Street later on, everyone was fucking corrupt. It's true. Okay. That doesn't make what I did right. I'm not trying to rationalize it, but that was my rationalization back then. It's not a big deal. But then, what happened? My mistake was what happened to you in a sense is that when you get that big and that young, you're a target. And if you do one thing, and I deserved it. By the way, I deserved to go down. I did. I made mistakes. I did things I would never do now. Like the real thing I did wrong was that when I created a system called the straight line for training salesmen. Once I invented that, I was able to take any person and make them into a fucking millionaire closer, right? World-class closer.
Can you still do that, by the way?
Of course, I do it all around the world. Trading or sales training?
Just making people millionaires in general.
Well, if they want to work their asses off, I could take any person and make them rich if they're willing to work their fucking ass off.
No chance on just the million without the working the ass off part.
You got to work.
Fucking it.
I'm the wrong. If you want to, if someone wants to really work and take time to learn the rules of success and grow themselves, yes, you'll be a millionaire.
Are there shortcuts to success?
Of course there are. And that's the shortcut is to learn the only way to get rich in this world is quick. Yeah. The world's too expensive to get rich slowly, right? But the distinction there is I'm not talking about a get rich quick scheme. What happens is you work really hard and then you don't get the result. And you work really hard, don't get the result. You keep working really hard, you don't get the result, but you're lining up the elements of success. It's below the waterline, so to speak. And then that one last piece of the puzzle, and bam, you sort and everyone's like, oh my God, he got rich overnight. Well, you know what? There was 2 years of really hard work, or whatever it might be, 10,000 hours, whatever it might be, right?
10,000 hours.
So the point is that when you get rich, it happens quickly, but there's a lot of work that has to go into it. Now, here's the deal. There are certain skill sets that you really need to possess if you want to essentially ensure that outcome. Those are the ability to close the deal, to market effectively, which you guys are awesome at. You're great marketers, right?
Yep.
Okay, to close effectively, the rules of business and entrepreneurship. Then there's some inner game stuff, mindset to manage your emotional states, your beliefs. So there's all this sort of stuff.
Networking,
right?
relationship building.
That's all based on beliefs and strategy. Yeah. So I teach people those strategies and then they'll get rich. Without learning, listen, I wrote this book that became a phenomenon. You know how I learned it? By modeling Tom Wolfe. I couldn't have done it without modeling. So there's always a strategy behind, wealth doesn't happen by accident. Bill Gates didn't become the richest man in the world. It was very deliberate actions they took. And they're all great salespeople, great promoters, brilliant business people. Jeff Zuckerberg, it's always for a reason. So the rules of success are really, really easy. They're knowable, they're learnable, and they're out there. I teach them. But if you're not willing to work hard, I'm the wrong mentor for you. Then don't come to me because you can't do it without hard. But most people, here's the deal. Most people are working really fucking hard and not getting results.
Yeah, true. Work smarter, not harder.
There you go.
Yeah.
Was it all worth it?
Of course it was.
Champ. Hey, champ.
Not
Hey.
because, well, let me qualify. It was worth it because it brought me to this point in my life. If you're asking if crime pays, right? The crime, well, I will tell you this. If I would have not committed that 3 or 4%, 2%, whatever it was, I'd be worth $5-10 billion now. That was what brought me down. I didn't make more money because I made money quicker. See, usually what happens, a lot of people, they cut corners. It's not that you would still get rich, but you make it a little bit, you collapse time, right? My point is that I would never change anything because this is my life. It brought me to where I am now. I have an amazing platform around the world to help people, to make money, to spread a great message, and I take great responsibility. I do it really well. But of course, I would change certain things. Actions I took that hurt other people. Yes, I wish I could change those, but I can't. Okay? The bright side is that at least it brought me to this spot now, made me the person I am today. And as I said in the beginning, you're not the mistakes of your past. The only people I don't respect are those that don't learn from their mistakes. Mm-hmm. That's why I said Billy, the guy from the fire. Yeah. That's the question, and that remains to be seen. So hopefully, I hope the guy comes back and uses gets a great story, and he becomes really famous and makes $1 jillion. I hope he does.
Hey, shouts Billy McFarland. Yo, let's go to the audio only right now. It's the same shit, just a little bit more, a little bit deeper, a little bit juicier. I don't know if we can.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving. Oh, you're not gonna. You don't have to.
I'm not fucking leaving.
That's the good
I'm
news.
not fucking leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving. I'm
Take the National fucking Guard to get me out of here.
Damn, what a fucking podcast. Jordan Belfort, thank you, bro. Yeah, I really appreciate it, dude.
Pleasure.
Where can they find you on social? Wolf of Wall Street? Wolf of Wall Street? Wolf of Wall Street?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Hit him up, guys.
What's your socials?
Hit that subscribe button as well. Subscribe to Impaulsive, the #1 podcast in the world.
Yeah.
Rate us 5 stars in the iTunes store. Listen to this on Spotify and iTunes. Extended audio right now with Jordan Belfort.
Ow!
Peace.
So what I want to know is how did you guys start this whole fucking thing? Like, what separates? Okay, so you're the most famous YouTuber guy, right?
Nah.
I want to know what was the moment? What was this? Was there something that you did? My life, it was I invented the straight line. I can look at one moment, and say I did that, bam. Is it one moment or no? It was a series of moments.